we're back, and we are encountering a Nodcap person, and I think Florent was about to like search their bardic knowledge and lore, and ask me a question.
Yes. I think what Florent wants to know is how can we more effectively communicate with the Nodcaps?
What an excellent question.
Yeah.
The Nodcaps are very much about action, so you can kind of communicate through a sort of like mime, like charades. But at the same time, if you wanted to like be able to speak words, then you'd have to do like there are a bunch of like tongues, spells, and rituals that are known to the arcane to those who practice the arcane arts. A lot of them include like cutting out the tongue of a living or dead creature that speaks the language that you want to speak, so on and so forth.
Nodcap.
You've got one right here.
We have a Nodcap that we need to talk to. Let's cut out its tongue.
I mean, yeah, you know that such spells exist. I don't know that you know the specific rituals. But yes, trade, or rather, like things, gifts, the exchanging of things and gifts, and like, and also like action. So yeah, charades or actually doing things. Nodcaps are very, very highly like sensory. So like you can communicate both by like visual action, but also like the making of sounds that are like mimicry, or if you can elicit smells or tastes or feelings, those will also be very, equally communicative with them.
Or I could stab it in the brain and learn something that it knows.
Yeah.
I could also eat it. That'd be cool.
Yep, that's the thing you could do.
Do you learn things from eating?
No, I just want to eat it.
Okay. What happens, team? You've got like you got this thing at your mercy, basically, because it's got like a broken leg and is much smaller than you, and can't do its traditional magics.
If I was a small child, I would put it in my backpack.
I don't know that I have a backpack.
I mean, you apparently have adventuring gear, so...
I don't know that it's in a backpack.
Is it small enough to ride a hawk?
The Nodcap? What kind of hawk? Let's I want to look up like swamp.
I don't know.
Hawks big enough to pick up gnomes.com, my favorite website.
I'm gonna try.
Swamp harrier is apparently a thing. A swamp harrier, also known as the Australasian marsh harrier, is... Oh, this has gone into Friends at the
Swamps
Table territory.
and marshes.
Swamps and marshes. This has gone back into Friends at the Table territory where we're looking up...
Yeah, come on, let's go to Nottinghamshire Wildlife Trust.
What do they have to say about... I just want to know what
I want to hear more about gnomes that I can pick up in my local area.
There are lonely gnomes in your local area.
In case you were wondering, Hawks big enough to pick up gnomes.com available.
Ooh.
Swamp Hawk is on Bandcamp, for anyone curious.
I feel like you could pick it up. It's about half your size, not including wingspan. I'm assuming that you are a swamp harrier.
Sure. That's a fair assumption to make. The biggest swamp hawk you can think of.
I mean, it's the only swamp hawk that comes up when I search.
Then that one works.
Cool, awesome. So yeah,
Okay,
you could pick
but
it up.
Ash, what comes up when you search wetland hawk, right?
Okay, good point. Good point.
How about Fenhawk?
I did mention it was a bog, specifically I smelled like, so perhaps there's other types of hawks that like to hunt in bogs rather than swamps.
If I search for bog hawk, apparently there's a rapper called Big Hawk, and that's what comes up.
Did you mean big hawk?
And not Bob?
Okay, this is a tunnel that we don't. This is a
No, I'm okay with it
rabbit hole
being
we
like,
don't need to go down.
I'm okay with it being half my size, but I'm just saying, like, if I need to carry it away, I can do so. I'm also happy just to, like, turn into a human right now, but for now.
We could put it in a canopic jar and see
I mean,
what happens.
if you were a human, you could definitely pick it up and eat it.
Ooh, that's fair. I'm not gonna eat it yet, but I will turn back into human. I think it's a good call right now. So if I need to carry it, I will, but, you know, I'll bide my time for the eat it plan.
I think, Ash, have we seen any of the doors yet?
Not yet.
Okay, I think Chara puts the nodcap down on like a rock
Yep.
nearby, and like snaps their fingers in its face to like, get its attention, like waves, is like,
Yeah. Doesn't
look at
take
me?
much.
Yep, and then draws in the dirt a picture of a doorway, and then mimes like question mark.
It goes. Yeah, I know what you mean, and it like pulls itself because it doesn't have like working leg. Like it's got a broken leg, so it like pulls itself off, and like down to the thing, and mimes grabbing a hold of the doorknob and then being like, "You do this with that. That's what you do with it."
Yeah, and then Chara like is like nodding, and then draws a question mark in the dirt on the because it's just opened the door, like draws a question mark, like and inside the door.
It looks at the question mark and goes, "Tss."
Snakes.
"No snakes. No snakes near the door."
Good,
Okay.
good. Chara's like really like, yes, this is good information, and then just starts fucking God. This is okay. So mechanically, I am discerning realities.
Yes.
Using this nodcap as a proxy.
Yes.
But what this looks like is Chara just starts like making animal noises and like drawing fires in the dirt and like just going through every dangerous thing and all valuable thing they can, and holds out a hand for someone, like, come on, give me your money, and then just like holds out the coin and is like, is that behind the door? And it's
Okay.
just gonna like eliminate every possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Slowly.
my brilliant plan.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Let's see what happens.
I'm occasionally caught sniffing the no cap's hat, like just like.
Oh yeah, it smells like rotten, like sweet pastries.
Mm. Probably not meaty enough. Whatever, fine. We'll see.
Would anyone like to help me?
Yeah, is anyone helping in this nonsense?
Excuse you.
Yeah, I think I'll help.
Is it that I need a second person to mime out some of the more complicated things?
Gotta be that.
Right? Like, when I'm like, is there a horse down there? Like, the two of us pretend to be a horse.
I feel like partially you get Florent to like stand up and help you with that. But I think before what like the actual thing that helped is that like as Florent like sat on the ground looking at the nodcap, and then like for a little while after they were like strumming on their lute and like singing the song of like that like was how they knew that you can communicate with nodcaps. And it was probably like a story of like kids like like trying to trade with a Nodcap or something like that.
Cool.
Like it was probably very reminiscent of the scene we're seeing right now.
Yep. Awesome. Alright, I'm gonna re-roll that 3, and we're gonna see what happens. Because even if I get a miss, I'm okay with that. Because it means XP. But I don't. I just get, hang on a minute, 5 and 2 is 7 and 1 is 8. Cool. Okay. So it's still just this.
Still 7 to 9, yeah.
What should I be on the lookout for?
I'm trying to work out how I can answer this question without being an asshole GM.
Everything.
Because the because the question is because it's through the way that the Nodcap perceives things, right? Like and like your perception of danger and what the Nodcap actually knows. I think it draws a picture of a person who has a similar kind of appearance to one of the statues. I think for you, I think it draws like the face of the statue. And then it also like gets your hand and puts it in the dirt and then traces around it. And I think that is the best I can give you.
Can I spell lore to understand what the fuck it's talking about?
I don't think
Wants you
that's
to be on the
reasonable.
lookout for turkeys.
I don't. Well, no, they're not like connect. Like they're not. Yeah, right. I think that like in that. So the important information that I'm giving you here is that those are dangerous, right? Like those are things you should be on the lookout for.
Handprints and elf faces.
Right, but you've seen those elf faces already, right? This is what I'm telling you as a GM, right? Like I'm not bullshitting you out of like I'm trying not to bullshit you out of like an actual answer. I'm trying to make sure that I'm communicating here something valuable from your 7 to 9 because that's like I don't want to be like you get nonsense, right? Because that's not helpful. But like the two things, I think it does it. This is a good answer, actually. It puts your hand on the door and traces it.
Oh, says Chara, who thinks they've figured out what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, so that is like the things that are communicated as dangerous to you by the Nodcap.
Yeah, and so Chara turns around and is like, big grown up. And then waits for an acknowledgement.
Yes?
If we touch the doors, the statues will come and get us. I think.
I knew we should have pushed over that other statue.
And they scowl. Like, no. You leave the husband who isn't hurt alone. You're mean. And they like grumpily like stomp over and like find like a small stick or like a root that's growing out of the chasm and start like splinting the leg of this Nodcap.
Aww.
Because they're not a bully like that big grown-up who wants to hurt the nice elf husbands.
You're gonna be so sad when you turn around and the Nodcap's gone and all that's left is the hat.
Alice, you're the worst.
I mean, like, yeah.
Because you ate it?
Oh, it
That's the
hasn't
question.
happened yet, but I'm waiting for an opportunity to do so.
But yeah. I mean, so yeah. Here's the like. I think what that looks like then is that, I think Chara is going to notice when you go for it. Right, like, because there isn't like there isn't a like a nice PvP way to like resolve that with roles that I'm happy with from a storytelling perspective. So like if it's that thing of like you think Chara has turned away, but then Chara turns around, he'll be like, and something else, Nodcap, and you're like, there.
Yeah, probably.
What is that like? What happens?
Okay, so I think what it yeah, so I think she's like leering over it, and you can see it's not that she's like actually grabbed it or anything yet, it's just you see the intent. And like her like mouth is slightly open, and you see like rows of teeth, rather than just like, you know, normal ones, and like hands are sort of, I have horn, tooth, and claw, by the way.
Awesome.
So like, and like not talons per se, but like the claws of an alligator, right? Like
yeah.
The sort of like, anyways, and she's just kind of like looking at it, and then looks up at you.
And Chara, they just like sigh in the most like frustrated, irritated way possible for a 13-year-old, like delivered with all the scathing, you know, like intent that a 13-year-old can deliver. He's just like, God, you're so weird. I just turn and go up the canyon. Like, fucking whatever. I'm done. I'm done with this weird Nodcap.
Like, yeah, like Mari is only a year older than you, right? Like,
what a weirdo, though.
Yeah,
am I right?
It's like your like goth older sister or something, right? Like, it's that thing of like
goth older pain in my ass.
So yeah, awesome. You're welcome to have a meal if you want, Mari.
Totally eat a Nodcap. By the way, I don't actually need to eat anything. Just want to. It's actually a druid power. You don't have to eat.
Yeah, you just can if you want to.
If you let me eat the brain, I can learn something.
No, the brain's the juiciest part.
Also, like the Nodcap, like eating the Nodcap brain, like size levels, it would be awkward for. You'd have to like cut a bit of the brain out and like. Anyway,
you'd have to Hannibal it. You'd have to Hannibal it, like knife and cork.
Also, like frogs don't have teeth, so you'd have to like gum on it. You'd have to like make a mushy paste out of it. It'd be really awful.
Anyway, the point being that
sorry,
like,
chat.
As we continue down the path, we just like everyone like goes past, and like Mari is like the last, and we just see like the Nodcap hat go to the ground. So, yeah. As you're heading along down the path, I think you start to see like more like withered up, like thousands of years old, like withered Nodcap like bodies around the place. And
I do not engage.
And at some point, you see what looks like someone has like thrown like the biggest dollhouse you've ever seen like down the chasm. So this is after you've been like traveling for a little bit, and yeah, someone has like tossed these huge big chunks of like weird, slightly like weirdly sharp at the edges rock, and also like, yeah, this big toy fortress dollhouse thing, and just spilling out of these like crumbled remains of this dollhouse, there are like thousands of coins and like gems and things like that, like maybe not like a king's ransom, but certainly like a duke's, you know, like a big healthy sum of cash.
While I wait for everyone else to catch up with me, having stormed off in a bit of a huff, I'm just gonna start moving them from in the pile of rubble to next to the pile of rubble.
Like all the coins and things?
Yeah, where there are like sharp edges that cut your fingers and like weird teetering dollhousey bits and like gross Nodcap body. I'm just gonna go through and start like picking up coins, like tossing them over my shoulder. I'm just like relocating the mound like 3 feet to the left.
Yeah. So like this is what you'll see when you arrive at this section. So like at this point at the base of the chasm, there's probably, it's like the fallen stone has created a kind of like wall, like, you know, like when like it's fallen into the chasm to create a blockage of the path, and so there might be more coins and things on the other side, but because the broken toy fortress is on like kind of on the top, mostly on this side though. But yeah, you get here to Chara like throwing coins into a pile.
Are the doors anywhere to be seen?
Haven't seen any doors yet.
Okay. I think Florent probably just like walks up and essentially joins in, but instead of throwing it all into one pile, starts sorting the big pile that Char's making into smaller piles. Of like, these ones are gems and these ones are these coins.
Nice. Very
We
cool.
make like, we've got like a chain going on.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Yeah, so you start like working on that. And yeah, there's an awful lot of small change here. There's like gems and big important coins, but yeah, there's a lot of small change. Cool. Henri? Mari?
I was just gonna, I'd like to like look around potentially and like see if there's like any node caps left, if there's anything nearby, like any sort of like just sort of like pace around the dollhouse, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like that. If you want to get like if you want to go all the way around the dollhouse, you'd probably have to like climb up over, like try and climb up the scramble wall, that wall of like stone and things that has fallen down into the base.
Okay.
Because it's kind of, but like you can just pace around the area and just search the area if you want to roll discern realities.
Yeah, the discern realities was what I was going for.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew that was what you're trying to trigger. I just wanted to get the specifics. Yep. So you've got a question.
List of questions. What should I be on the lookout for?
I think you find a banner of what did we say the banner was of? Was it of like lightning or something? Like a little
The Nodcap one?
Mm.
Yeah, it was like lightning on a cloud or something.
Yeah. So you find this banner, and I think you find like made out of like what would have once been like a little pewter mug or something, a kind of weird little centurion's helmet thing. And it's like a brush and a pewter mug has been like cut and like formed into this. And I think you see a like trail of like, I think you can tell it's blood. It's kind of, well, because I would describe it more like molasses.
Jam?
Well, no, more like molasses. In that it's like quite brown and very sticky.
I mean, so you're gonna make me say it. Mari definitely licks it to make sure.
It's like somewhere it's like has that like ridiculous like sort of like semi-malty like molasses, but also that like tang of metal of blood. And that I think leads into the like from the banner and the thing, there is like a path into like in amongst the larger chunks of the like stone that have fallen. So there's like if you were not capsized, it would be a cave, right? Like in amongst the big stones. But that's where this leads. And yeah, it's already dark down here. There's no way you can see inside.
Cool. I'm gonna turn into a giant snake. Like,
well,
yeah.
maybe not too giant.
Well, no, I mean like Well, not like giant enough that I could like potentially eat a nodcap, but fit in the
Right,
freaking.
With a diameter of 7.5 inches, so that you fit very nicely within this exactly
Yeah.
at height hole.
Yeah,
And so that like.
so like an
Yeah.
anaconda or similar sort of thing.
Yeah, not like I was looking at the biggest anaconda, like the biggest snakes to like live in
those
swamps,
huge.
but don't because the biggest snakes in the world live in swamps. Like the green anaconda
Yeah, they
is
do, yeah.
ginormous.
Yep.
But yeah, not the biggest, but like big enough to fit into the hole.
Cool. Do you want to roll your wisdom for that one?
I would love to. That is a 9. I hold
So you got
2.
2 hold? Yeah. So I think you can like constrict and crush things. And I think what's another thing that snake do? The anaconda.
Sense with my tongue.
Yes, scent. Yes, like taste the air. And
Yep.
pick up on things. Yeah, cool. Do those seem reasonable to you?
Yeah, very very cool.
All right. So yeah, and as soon as you're an anaconda, you can smell this, and there's nodcap blood everywhere, right? But like you can follow the scent trail of this specific thing, and yeah, it goes into this cave. So is your plan to like make your way in, like poke your head in?
Not yet. I'm gonna wait for them to like finish organizing things, and I'm gonna like look up at one of them and then go in. Like I'm going to get acknowledgement and be like, I'm gonna go do a thing. But if you hear screaming or something, come help maybe, depending. I don't know. If you can.
Awesome, cool. Yeah. So yeah, what's everyone else? How's everyone else like? There's not going to be an issue collecting the coins that you can at least see and sorting them out.
But here's the thing. The coins I'm really curious about are the coins that we can't see.
Like invisible coins or ones?
Not invisible coins, the ones that are under the rocks.
Yes, and there's probably a bunch.
Yeah, and so Chara has this like staff that is like, strong and sturdy. And I think part of her adventuring, their adventuring gear, and I think they like pull it out and could spend another use, is like a crow, like not like a full size, but like a short like crowbar,
A Jimmy bar.
Yeah, right. Like something in that space. Maybe that came back from the weird giant car fortress of the lizard croc people, and was just brought back into town. But yeah, this like like several foot long like iron spike. That, and so yeah, like they're gonna start like driving it in there and then using it to like lever rocks off and like picking up rocks that are small enough and trying to get at the good stuff underneath.
There's a danger here.
Yeah, I know, but I defy you, danger.
Okay,
and
so
GM.
So yeah, danger. You get crushed by a bunch of rocks.
That sounds like it could be painful, but I don't mind.
Positive outcome. You find whatever's hidden under the stones.
Nice.
Strength?
I feel like my tool use bumps this over to intelligence.
Yes, fair. Anya?
No, Anya, you go first.
So is the way that we're helping people, is the assistance hacked in this?
Yes. So the way that the aid and assistance works in this one is just you describe how you're helping, but you don't have to like roll a stat. All you do is give the other person the ability to re-roll one of their dice.
Yeah. And in that case, how does it work? Because if I use arcane art, I can like give someone a +2 instead of a +1 with aid. How does that
if
work?
you use arcane art, then I think you would. I think you can just let them re-roll twice.
2.
Re-roll 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna ask a question here. It is entirely possible the answer is no, and I am prepared for that. Is my small size an advantage here because I don't have to clear as much rock to get down there because I can squeeze through smaller gaps?
No, I don't think so.
That's fair. I gotta try. It's my job.
You've got 2 dice re-rolls to
defy danger.
I mean, so I want to know like how is Florent helping?
I think Florent like starts like playing a work tune,
Yes.
like is just trying to goad them into like working harder essentially.
Mhm.
Yeah, and Chara like gets into the rhythm. It turns into like a little bit of that scene at the beginning of Treasure like Island, the Muppet version, where they're all like working in harmony to the song. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
So I need to roll arcane art.
So do you need to roll that? Or do you
I need
do
to
that?
roll arcane art if I want to get the bonus.
So how does that work?
On a 10 plus, they get the selected effect. On a 7 to 9,
Okay, yep.
it's at cost.
Yep, cool. So yeah, roll your... Is that charisma?
Yeah.
Yeah. So on a 7 to 9, choose an ally and effect. Ooh, yeah, cool. Let me think about that. But you're giving them +2 instead of +1, so they get 2 rerolls. And I will think about the consequences of that.
So I'm gonna start re-rolling some dice. I want to re-roll my 2. I'm not very happy with it.
You got a 3.
It's an improvement. I'm gonna re-roll it again.
Nice.
That's more like it.
There
Right,
we
so
go.
it's a 6. I got a 6 and a 4, which is a 10 plus, and then my intelligence is plus nothing,
So 10.
so 10.
Cool, excellent. I think... Alright, I think what happens is that your magic reverberates through the space, and like you're hitting all these harmonies, right? And the rocks start like by the end of your song, you realize that the rocks are like glowing, right? Like they're like just lit up, and like all of these like little fissure lines and like little bits of like carving in them and stuff, like they're not like just glowing uniformly. They have like lines all over them and through them, and those are radiating this kind of cyan, like white cyan light, and I think there's the smell of like ozone in the air, and I think that's kind of a good place to take a break.
Can I ask one slightly ominous question before we go to break?
Yeah.
Do we, by chance, hear the distant roll of thunder, or looking up see clouds forming overhead?
I think you hear the sound, and it's like so weirdly echoed down here, right? Like the sound of thunder above becomes this like
surround sound experience.
Like I think in the way that it it's like in The Wind Rises, where all of the sound effects are done with like human voices. It's a very like human chest rumble that is like far larger than any person, just
It's
rolling
voiced.
down the
I still haven't seen that movie.
the Foley in it is like solid. That was one of the things that I was like, whoa. Anyway,
All right, now we should go to break.
let's go to break with the sound of like doom, like sort of rolling down the thing. I can't do deep voices as well as I used to be able to. All right, back soon.